yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
She's just always kind of been a shady person.
I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
So recently, there has been a lot going around with the YouTuber CoryxKenshin.
Here, take this. Take this!
The guy needs no introduction. He's a massively huge YouTuber. I even did a video about him, I think a fair few weeks ago, but that was a more light-hearted story where he basically did like an impromptu meet and greet, giving away Nintendo Switches. I wish I could be talking about something light-hearted here, but unfortunately that isn't the case. So a couple of days ago, there was an account called Panda Ninja XX, and they posted 3 slideshows onto TikTok, basically detailing their apparent experience with CoryxKenshin. Now, even though that's her name, I'm not going to call her Panda Ninja XX every time I refer to her. I'm going to refer to her as Nami because that was the name that came up in the calls that the account posted. Now, when she made these posts, she claimed that it wasn't to gain any clout or it wasn't out of malice, but because her apparent experience made her question Cory as a role model and a public figure. Now, I do know this topic is incredibly loaded, and I know that there are a lot of sides. There are people that hate Cory right now. I've even seen posts of people talking about burning their merch or claiming they're going to burn their merch. And also there are a huge amount of people that are defending Cory. And I will get into it. I just think for now, it's best I lay everything out in a neutral way and then actually go into the specifics later on. So she says that her and Cory were basically involved with each other some time ago. You know, whether they were dating or not. We do know that at least on her end, she saw the relationship as something more than just being friends. But then she started claiming that Cory would basically end up ghosting her out of nowhere when she needed support. Even going on to claim that Cory was only really there for her when he needed something. So she's basically implying that it was a bit of a one-way relationship. Now, she also goes on to say that Cory apparently tried to reconcile things by, you know, sending gifts. For example, cards, some flowers, food, and a stuffed bear. But apparently this didn't go to plan because the next day in California, she saw Cory with another woman. And then again, apparently she tried to pry information about who this woman was, and Cory apparently snapped, saying that, you know, why are you implying that I'm cheating? So you've got a slideshow with absolutely no proof whatsoever. It's just claiming that they were with Cory at some point and Cory acted in a certain way. But then the second slideshow, they tried to show some kind of receipts. Now, usually you'd expect this to be like over text messages or something, and I did not expect this at all. The receipts are through the Xbox messaging app. You've got a picture of apparently Cory messaging her, asking if she's with anyone else currently. He says that he wants her, not wanting to date her, but to have her the way he's always had her. But they both also say in the messages that they're both not having casual sex anymore. She also mentions that she was assaulted, and I do want to clarify, even though I'm going to get into the opinions later, this was not by Cory, and even she has said this herself, coming out saying that he didn't do anything like that, even though people on the internet are still spinning it like he has. But when she says this, Cory in the messages is basically saying, I don't understand why you're lumping me into that category. And yeah, I really don't understand the comparison there. I mean, even if you feel like you were being used for sex, you were both consenting adults as opposed to literal assault. And then they both basically say they're not doing good mentally at the minute. But then Nami actually downplays the issues that Cory was going through due to him having a lot of money. And then also makes the argument that being in a bad place doesn't justify apparently mind someone else. And then Nami announces that she was diagnosed with a really aggressive form of cancer, stage 3 TNBC, which is triple negative breast cancer. She then reached out to Cory, and Cory replied saying, that was the most passive-aggressive cancer reveal ever, lol. Now, on paper, it looks pretty bad. It looks really out of touch at best. But keep in mind, there are like no previous messages included in that screenshot. And 2, nothing in the screenshot really identifies that this is Cory. It's just a message from iMessage. This is the problem when you see leaked messages between 2 parties, because what a lot of people try to do is purposely crop out the most incriminating, evil, dubious things that the other person has said in an attempt to make them look as terrible as possible. And usually a lot of context there can be missing. Now, Nami also does talk here about another girl that followed her on Instagram, someone called N. And N posted a picture of Cory on her Instagram story, and this sets up what will be discussed in now the 3rd slideshow. Now, this final slideshow isn't actually really about Cory at all. It's more about this other girl, N, who is being strange to Nami. She makes the point that Cory could have stepped in or said something to moderate the situation. I mean, that's if he even knows it's going on. But at the same time, I don't really feel like he has the responsibility to make sure that two other people are acting appropriately. She then brings up with basically no proof that Cory then hired someone called Brandon to start stalking her Instagram stories, just to see if she'd speak out about the situation. Again, there is no proof of this at all. You are just meant to completely believe someone posting TikToks. Now, on top of all this, there was a clip going around that's showing Cory and Nami walking and talking together. And the video is captioned, POV, you didn't know this was one of the videos you'd look back on and realize he never cared. He just wanted to see how long you'd let him hurt you. And then in the clip, Nami asks, did you ever watch me sleep? And then Cory basically just goes, yeah, I did. It's like some kind of thing. Adding on top of that as well that he never hurt her, and then they just end up both laughing.
Sleep? Did you watch me sleep?
Yeah, I actually did something to you while you were asleep too.
What?
I'm sorry. I just got this that I do. You know.
What?
I didn't hurt you. You're good, right?
What'd you do, Cory?
Just don't worry about it.
Cory?
It's good.
Cory, what did you do?
Do nothing. Look, this came right in my face. I didn't do anything.
Now, this is the one thing I hate about the internet, because people saw this video and then made up this narrative that came to them in a dream that he was being accused of assault. Again, if you read the statements that Nami has put out, she is literally saying that she never accused him of assault at any point. Now, did Cory actually do something to her in her sleep? No, because if he did, it would have definitely been included in these slideshows. Or on top of that as well, not waiting 8 years to talk about them. I mean, this was a conversation between two people that could have been in a relationship. There's no way to interpret how it could have gone. Personally, I just saw it as a really unfunny, like maybe weird joke at best. Now, at the time of recording, Cory hasn't said a single thing about this, and honestly, it seems that Nami, the accuser, is doing most of the damage herself, because she's actually started to walk back on a lot of the things that she accused Cory of. She posted another TikTok on her account, and she made the claim that none of this was done with the intent of defaming Cory. She simply just wanted to make vent posts about what she was going through.
This was never about defaming Cory at all. It literally was me venting about something that happened to me in the past that did hurt me. I felt at that moment I wanted to share with people that may have similar experiences like I did.
And if you feel like you've gone through a bad relationship, it's totally valid to talk about it. But I also feel at the same time as well, a lot of people make these call-out posts and then they say the intent isn't to, you know, like defame or to bring this person harassment, but that is exactly what is going to happen. I mean, the call-out post wasn't made anonymously either. It had Cory's name attached to it, so this was inevitably going to happen. On top of that as well, there was some apparently fake tweets going around saying things like, I edited all the DMs, or sorry for lying to you all, or she wasn't talking about Cory, and she basically just says, if it doesn't come from my TikTok account, it isn't me. I mean, this is the thing with call-out drama. It always ends up just becoming so disgustingly messy, because you've got a YouTuber that has essay allegations that he never even was accused of in the first place. It's just materialized, and now you've even got people running with it on Twitter that he's beat them, even though he was never accused of them in the first place. People just ran with that narrative. I do like this one, by the way. You've got like the Squid Game meme, and it's Cory, the first YouTuber to beat the allegations without saying a word. Now, one thing that's really surprising is another person has involved themselves in the drama coming to Cory's defense. They're not friends with Cory, but they're actually Nami's ex-roommate. And they basically claim that all of this happened 8 years ago, and the two actually discussed Cory when Nami was seeing him.
This is little 21-year-old me and Nami at the time. Notice that the side of her head is shaved. I'm saying this because even though the timeline wasn't confirmed based off of the videos that she posted and the messages that she was trying to circulate not having a timestamp, I'm pretty sure this was around the time I lived with her, if not slightly before. It's been 8 years. I have never thought about that moment again until just now.
Even apparently saying herself that, no, they weren't actually dating.
When we did live together, she did very briefly tell me about Cory, but more in like a, we didn't actually date. We just kind of talked, but because he was busy with YouTube stuff, it didn't work out.
The roommate even goes on to say that Nami really wasn't that great of a person, but they did live together. Even going on to say that she was done insanely dirty by Nami, but doesn't actually give any details as to why that is.
Not only did she do me insanely dirty for like the 2.5 months that we lived together,
but she also says that apparently Nami was dating two people back to back, not at the same time, but during the span of when her and Cory were actually seeing each other.
She was already actively dating someone, and then immediately after they broke up, she was dating somebody else. So things just didn't really add up, you know what I'm saying?
And she also goes on to say that they were living in New York together and they had a pretty big friend group, and a lot of these other people could actually come out to prove that she was lying.
Not to mention, there's going to be a lot of people who know her and are going to be able to call her out because we had a humongous friend group in K-Town in New York. So really interesting to see how many people are willing to come out and tell you guys that they know for a fact that she's lying, because she's just always kind of been a shady person.
But at the minute, I haven't seen any other friends or like any other roommates come out about this, only this one woman. So the main takeaway from this is an absolute zero nothing burger, and it should never have blown up to the point that it actually has in the first place. And it really shows that like you have both sides of the internet and they can be completely incompetent, like saying that Cory's done things that he was never even accused of, to the point the accuser has to say that they never accused him, which is just ridiculous. There is basically zero reason why this should have blown up the way it did. There is zero reason that I should have even made this video talking about it. Now, I'm not sure if Cory's going to respond to this. I don't really think he needs to. It has just been such a complete nothing burger. I mean, from what I've seen at most, it just seems to be a relationship that was pretty awkward. There are some things that were said in private that weren't very good. But again, unless it's revealed that Cory is some huge monster, which I don't really believe, I feel bad for the guy, because like this isn't even like just YouTubers covering this for like drama slop like what I'm doing right now. Well before this, there have been multiple, I think even dozens of like actual mainstream media outlets covering this. Seriously, you go onto Google right now, type in CoryxKenshin, go on the news tab, you'll just see countless article after article talking about all this. Almost like it's being forced to a point that so many people are talking about it on the mainstream that, no, Cory, you have to talk about it now. You have to talk about it. But yeah, I'm not really sure where it's going to go from here. It just really seems like a complete nothing burger drama.